Hello everyone, this book is called Worms and it's written by Laura Murray. Wow, what is this over here? I see words and I see numbers. What is this part of a book called? A lot of informative books have it. Hmm. You said table of contents. You are right. Remember, a table of contents has topics that are organized in a way that you can find that topic by a page number. So let's say you wanted to learn about the different parts of a worm. Like where's its head? Does it have fingers? I don't know. If you went to page 8, you could find information about a worm's body. But maybe you want to learn about what a worm eats. If you went to page 12, you could find the topic time to eat. So because this book is informative and we know it's teaching us about worms and we see photographs, is it a nonfiction book or a fiction book? If you think nonfiction, touch your head. If you think fiction, touch your shoulders. If you said nonfiction, you are right. Nonfiction is not fake. They are usually made to teach us about a different topic, and a lot of times they have real photographs of those things. So let's find out about worms. Hello, worms. Hello. And there's our exclamation mark because this worm is obviously so happy to see us. Hello! Worms are animals with long bodies. Soft earthworms live in the ground. So they live in the ground. A worm's body is wet. It has rings or bands around it. If you look really close, you can see all the different rings, which are called segments. Worms can be brown, white, or pink. Worms do not have eyes, but they have 5 hearts. Holy moly, 5 hearts? Look at your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 5 hearts. The way we have 5 fingers on one hand, they have 5 hearts inside their body. They might not have eyes to see, but they have 5 hearts in their body. Worms eat dead plants and animals. They eat other small things. Some eat old food. So look at this photograph. A photographer, who is a person who takes a picture, they took this photo of a worm eating. Now we currently don't see any illustrations. Remember, illustrations are pictures that somebody draws. Right now these are photographs. So somebody took photos of all these different pictures of worms. A baby worm grows inside a cocoon. Look at that. Look at this photo. The worm is growing inside a cocoon. Can you think of anything else that also grows inside of a cocoon? If you said butterflies or moths, give yourself a brain kiss. You're right. After the baby worm hatches, it crawls through the dirt. Hatches. Look at that. That word is a different color. So they really want you to know that vocabulary word. They find it very important, so they made sure it stood out by changing the color. Can you think of any other animals or creatures that hatch? If you said chicks, you're right. And what about Muzzy, our bearded dragon? Reptiles also hatch from an egg. So they wanted you to make sure that you remember what this word is. I think it's important. Worms make holes in the soil. Some worms come out at night. They like the rain too. So why do you think they like rain? Remember, when we look back at the beginning of the story, was the worm's body, is it dry or is it wet? Is it moist? If you said wet, you're right. So that's rain is also wet. So when they like the rain because it helps keep them nice and moist. If it's too hot, they can dry out, which isn't good for the worm. And soil is another vocabulary word that is so important for worms. And by using our context clues like holes, they make holes, and using our picture to also help us find word meaning, we know that the soil is the dirt and the ground in this photo. It's nutritious, it has a lot of vitamins, the plants can grow from it, which is also really good for the worms to be able to burrow through. And because this word is in a different color, we might be able to find out that word in what? Where could we find the meaning of that word? In the glossary, right? The glossary has the word and the meaning. And is that in the front of the book or in the back of the book? In the back, you're right. Goodbye, worms. Wow, look at this wonderful diagram. That's one thing I love about nonfiction books, informative books. They usually have text features that have diagrams that teach us about different things. And this diagram is showing us the body parts of a worm. So we have here the head, which is at the very tip. We have the segments, which are the rings that go throughout the whole worm's body. We have the mouth. Look at that. This is such a nice camera that it's able to take such close pictures, because you would really need to magnify. You'd really need to make something bigger to be able to see how tiny this would look. If you were looking at a worm, it would be so hard to see. But by using tools like magnifying glasses or microscopes or even cameras that have special lenses, it allows us to see really, really close, which is awesome. Then we look here. Look at that, there's hair. Did you know worms have hair? You look really close, these are the worm's hair. And then we have the tail, which is at the other end. And then we have the clitellum, which is, remember when we read other books about worms, and in some books they labeled this as the saddle. Words to know. Ooh, words to know. What's a synonym for words to know? They have the word and the definition. What's in other books? What do they call this part of the story? Touch your head if you think index. Touch your shoulders if you think glossary. Index or glossary? If you said glossary, you are right. Remember, an index, it might have the word, but it doesn't tell us the meaning. The index has the word and the page number where you can find that word in the story, but the glossary has the word and the meaning of that word. So, cocoon, a soft case that keeps a growing animal safe. Hatches, comes out of an egg. Soil, dirt or ground. And then here they give us some more tools so you can find more information and different websites about worms. Ooh, and there's our index. Yep, there you go. Our index tells us what word that they found important that you should know as a vocabulary word, and what page you could find those words. So if you wanted to go back and learn more about worm babies, you could go to page 14 and 15. If you wanted to see the word hearts, you could go to page 11. So we have babies, bodies, cocoons, colors, dirt, food, hatching, hearts, and rain. Thank you so much for reading with me.